Talk to you about Mr. Royals. All right, guys.
Shoot your shot. What do you got?
It seemed like he's got a lot of play after the catch. Just what did you see from that aspect of his game?
No, I think you nailed it. Just his versatility, both inside and outside, and then the rack ability stands out. And that was throughout his 3 years at Utah State. And then he can separate with the short route. He can separate with the intermediate route tree too. So he's got a ton of versatility.
How surprised were you that he was still available at this pick?
You know, all the boards are going to be different. We're just happy that he was available for us because he can make an impact immediately.
You talked about some of that impact there. He does have some returner experience at
Yes.
Utah State. How much does that play a role in to where you selected him?
Oh, 100%. Like around this round, they have to have some type of special teams value. And for Jalen, he does have that return ability, especially with the new kickoff return rules. He can definitely help us in that aspect, and he'll be competing for that.
What's your understanding of just his health right now?
He's healthy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 100% healthy. Yeah.
From your conversations with him, what stood out about him that you said, all right, this is the guy that really needs to be a Chief?
You know, he's just from our interactions at the Senior Bowl, like he is so coachable, and he really loves football and he wants to get better. And you saw that throughout his whole path, Georgia military to Utah State. Each and every single year, he improved a ton, and he'll do that here.
With Andy wanting these skill guys to just be all over the place, it was how much did the football IQ come into play in terms of inside, outside, being able to go anywhere?
Huge, especially in this offense. And I will say Utah State was maybe a little bit of a simpler offense. And based upon our interactions, like he had the necessary IQ, he's smart, and like I said, he's extremely coachable, and he's willing to learn, which is huge in learning our offense.
Greg, you keep saying coachable. Can you give me an example? What do you see from him that makes him?
Well, even like when I go out there and practice, just looking at the position coach eye to eye, and then implementing the instructions given during that practice exposure. And that's kind of, whenever we go to these practice exposures, we look for that stuff. We look for how are you implementing this stuff? How are you implementing the advice that the coaches are giving you? And then when you talk to your sources at the school, they do the same thing. You ask them those type of questions. How does he do applying the feedback, applying the constructive criticism? And it was all plus from him.
How frequently were you able to see him? Obviously, Utah State didn't have a ton of prospects.
No, listen, I was in there 2 or 3 times this fall. Okay. And then we saw him at the Senior Bowl, the Combine. So we had a lot of touch points, a lot of data points. And we had really good connections at Utah State. So we saw him a bunch.
You see any similarities in his skill set to Rashee Rice at all?
You know what? Jalen's his own guy. I don't think it's fair to put any type of expectation on him. When it comes to, he does have the rack ability, so I can see why you would make that comparison. But he is his own player. He's special in that way.
We see the stats with the yak, but is it going over guys, going around guys? Like, what's sort of his style, the way he's able to?
I mean, over guys, through guys, around guys. Like that's the beauty about this player. It's just a pure versatility. He can, beat a guy off press coverage against a slant. He can run right by you, and when the ball's in his hands, he can run right through you.
Greg, were you also the scout for Williams in the 3rd round?
Yes, I was. Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just
Yeah, no. What do you guys have on Noel?
just break him down for us. What do you like?
Yeah, the first thing that stood out was just from a person standpoint, this guy is uber competitive, and he loves football. And then as far as the player is concerned, and I think Bradway hit on it yesterday, was the versatility and the tackling. And tackling, as Brad was, it's huge in our, like Spags loves good tacklers, and he fits that mold perfectly.
Going back to Jalen, how do you feel? What kind of position do you project him? Is he an XZ slot or a guy you can move around?
We can move him around, because he's intelligent, and he did that at Utah State too. So I imagine us using him the same way.
All right, guys. Thanks, Greg.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Yeah.